Hello and welcome to the first ever monthly guide through the chakra cards. Now these cards are not like tarot. I'm not going to tell you your future, but what I will do is offer you questions and thoughts and reflections about how you can move forward in your life no matter what's going on for you. So let's begin. We will start with the base chakra and we'll just give it a shuffle. And the question is, what does the collective need to know at this time? Oop, there it is. This is pretty interesting considering what's going on in Afghanistan. How do you do conflict? Do you shout, bottle it up, run away? So in order to bring about peace in our world, we really need to work on peace within ourselves, and that's about our inner conflicts. How do you relate in conflict to other people? So this is a great question to start thinking about to work through the base chakra. Then looking at the sacral chakra. I think that one's for me. What does the world need to know in the sacral chakra? What do we need to work on? That one. Okay. What are your relationship values? What do you expect a relationship to look like, and where did you learn this? So this is really thinking about if you're with someone or having a conflict with someone that you're in a relationship with, what are your values? Because it really needs to be that our values are aligned for a relationship to be successful. If you're not in a relationship, this is a really great card to start to put down what you do want in a relationship. What are your values and what sort of values do you want from others? It's not about whether they're, say, a smoker or non-smoker. It's about whether they care for their health. That's more of a value than the behaviour. So that's the one for the sacral chakra. Solar plexus. What does the collective need to know? And interesting, looking at these two, conflict and relationships. So, you know, when we think about our own relationships and how we do conflict in relationships, you know, really those two cards are very, very linked. So let's look through the power. We hold a lot of guilt here. Again, what are you holding on to that no longer serves you? So I don't know if you can see it, but I can see this really clear pattern between those three cards there. So conflict in relationships, but also holding on to things. So things like grudges, you know, we can't keep holding on to those things because they hurt us. And there's that beautiful saying, I think it's a Buddhist saying, please correct me if I'm wrong, that if you're angry, anger is like holding a hot coal. It's you that gets burned. So we need to really let go of those things. And there's a beautiful story about that, which I'll tell you at another time. So that's that one. Heart chakra. What does the collective need to know? How can we move out of this conflict within relationships this month? Here it is, that one there. How are you showing up in the world? This is quite interesting too. When we think about, you know, the way our world is, excuse me, I can feel my throat chakra being cleared out. How are you showing up in the world? How do we all show up? What values do we bring to the world? You know, what conflict do we bring into the world? And what are we hanging on to? How are we bringing all that into the world? How are we making the world a better place? So that's the heart chakra. Some beautiful cards here today. Throat chakra. What is your greatest weakness? So thinking about you as an individual, you know, what is your weakness? Is your weakness around conflict? Do you get triggered? Is your trauma triggered through that? Do you have a weakness in relationships? Do you have a weakness in holding on to things? And do you have a weakness in or a fear about showing up in the world to be your brightest, most wonderful self. Lovely cards here today. Third eye. You only need one. There it is. Do you have recurring dreams, or are there themes in your dreams? Now this can either refer to the nighttime dreams that we have, or dreams and visions about our future that we want for ourselves. So the way out of this conflict, after we've explored all these lower chakras, we move to the way out, and the way out is how we're showing up in the world, what is our weakness, and then we think about our future. What sort of dreams do we have? What are we moving forward into? And what sort of person do we want to be within our dreams? So up to the crown. So this is the crown chakra. I've made it white when I created the cards because I really, really wanted that purity of the crown chakra. Ooh, there's a lot of flipping of things going on here for the world. Who are you? What a great series of questions around identity. So when we look at how do you do conflict, let's unpack all this. Let's unpack our values. Let's unpack our anger. How are we showing up after we've healed all this stuff? Move forward into, looking at our weaknesses. And our weaknesses are not things we should be ashamed of. They're just parts of us. We just have to honor those. And then our dreams and goals, and really expanding our identity. Who are you? Who are you in the world? And these ones here, these are a tantric based deck. These are really good for couples, but if you're not in a relationship, these ones are also really, really good, just again to explore your own sexuality. Please turn away now if you're a bit shy about sex. There are quite a few confronting cards in this. So if you're in a relationship, this card is for you. And if you're not, this card is for you to think about what you might want in your relationship. Oh, I've got two. Interesting. How do you love your lover when they do something wrong? Oh my goodness, look at that. Conflict, relationship values, but how do you love them when they do something wrong? When you feel upset by that. So that's an interesting card that matches in with these others. And how do you feel about eye gazing with your lover? Try it. And really, really, when you do eye gazing, we're not staring at them, like we're not glaring like an angry teacher. We're looking at them with our eyes softened. So we really want to think about how we look at someone. And even as we go about in the world, how is our gaze really direct, or we find gazing really soft? So there's quite a lot of really lovely cards here for us for this month, just thinking about how we can work in relationships and how we can work on ourselves within relationships and for the greater good. So the more we work on ourselves, the better and happier our world will be. One individual at a time. My favourite saying is, every great river begins with a drop. And if all of us start doing this inner work, imagine what sort of a world we could have. And finally, these are the Aura deck. They're available on my website. But they are for, it's called the Aura deck of the 8th chakra. So it's really that higher order sort of thinking. And this one is a great one. When I die, I will go satisfied knowing that how is it that you want to live your life? And that really comes back to this: who am I? What sort of dreams do I have? What are my weaknesses? And am I managing my weaknesses here? Am I looking at those things? How am I showing up in the world? Am I living my very, very best life? So when I get to that moment, just before I die, I can go, yes, I've had this most amazing life. So this is our very, very first chakra card reading, and I really hope that you've got something out of this. Now with these cards, you can journal each of these cards. You can focus on one a day. There's lots of different things you can do. These two are available on my website, alissacurtain.com. Otherwise, the rest of them are available as a online course, which will be up and running soon. So I hope that was helpful for you, and please do leave a comment below, and thanks for being here for my very, very first one. Namaste.